Hello everyone, this is Grace of GB Maltese, and I thought I would do a whip and chat with you today. It's been a hot minute since we've talked. So, I have my Dreamer design here, Life Above the Fray, and I've worked on it a little bit. Can you see the beautiful shine on these drills? I'm telling you, it's really, really, really pretty. I haven't had as much chance to work on it as I've wanted. I'm hoping to get a little more time now. Excuse me. I finished a clock I was working on, and I'll be telling you what else has been going on. But I wanted you to see that, and I'm going to be working with this color right now on this symbol. And there's quite a bit of that in the boat, so I'm going to put this here and we'll get started. I hope all of you are doing finer than frogs here. I'm feeling so much better. I did get a shot on Monday. That was wonderful. Those of you who've been with me know I have been suffering so much with my allergies and my asthma, and so taking different kinds of meds, and I got a shot of cortisone, and that has really helped. So I hope all of you are doing well and I know it's kind of hard, everybody. I know around here, everybody, we're forced, well, not forced, but we're told to stay in, which is a smart thing to do during this virus that's going around, the coronavirus. We just need to listen to the health officials and do what they tell us, and we're going to get through all this. We are. I know it's not easy to, not get out and do all the normal things we're used to doing, but it's to keep us safe. So, we want to stay safe. I want all of you to stay healthy, happy. So I thought, I'm going to come on here and keep you company for a little while. I hope it keeps you company. Let me know if you want me to do some more whip and chats to keep you company and, just whatever. I have other videos that I want to do now that I'm finally feeling better. I want to do my sealing video on my very favorite sealer that I am using now for my diamond paintings and everything associated with diamond painting. And since a lot of us are in the house now, you might have some time to seal up some of those paintings you've got. Or to work on these diamond paintings that we have sitting around. I'm enjoying working on this one. I'm going to tell you right now, this one's lovely. It's easy to work on. I can read these symbols very nicely. The front of this canvas is so silky smooth. That's basically what it feels like. Very silky. I love it. So when you're putting your hand here, I'm not sticking to anything. That is so nice. I'm not sticking to the canvas while I'm working. As you can see, I've got my silicone sheet down here. I have a link in my Amazon store to the box that I purchased. You have to buy 250 of them, okay? And they are big sheets. I put a sticker on the wrong side. The wrong side is dull, and the right side is nice and shiny. And you can use these over and over and over again. But they come in nice big sheets. You can cut them if you want to, but for a box of 250, that was $25. So, you may not want to buy that many at one time, but they're going to be, you can use them for if you do some other crafts with that slick side, you might even be able to mix water paints on it. I haven't tried that. That's an idea I hadn't thought of. I have some watercolor pencils. I need to try some of that stuff out. But this stuff is great. And this is a sticker I got from one of my orders when I bought some patty wax. And yes, I do have a new tips and tricks video for how I use these patty waxes. I love this stuff. This one has this is Granny's Kitchen, and it smells like cookies. So, yeah, it keeps the room smelling nice, and it's not a strong scent. Very lovely. And so I'll show you some tips and tricks on that. Some people are still, wondering about that, and I've got, yes, new ways that I keep mine warmed up. And we're going to be coming in, well, here in Texas, well, it's raining today. But we've been in the 80s. Like, no, I don't want to start summer too soon. I know those of you who are in the cold and you're in the snow, you're ready for it. But all I can think of is, are we going to have an extremely hot and humid summer? Because that is so miserable. So, there's a lot of pollen. We got lots of pollen floating around. I'm loving having this rain to kind of tamp it down. So, I'm sure, just like everybody else out there, everything is pretty much closed down. The schools are closed. Restaurants, I mean, you can pick up for takeout and that kind of thing. Which is nice that you're still able to do that. Sometimes you might get tired of having to fix something. Yeah, if you didn't watch my last video, I talked about the toilet paper situation and what I thought about those people who hoarded that toilet paper and selling it for a profit. That's just wrong, people. Wrong. And I got a chuckle. I like to check on eBay every so often to see what they're charging for toilet paper now. Yeah, they've got all kinds of prices. And now people are leaving comments to these individuals. And, they're not buying from them, but they're leaving a comment, and it's hilarious what they're saying to them. They're giving them a 1 star, really bringing down their ratings. I didn't leave a comment, but I thought about some choice words that I would like to say to these people. I mean, really. Okay, and we don't need to stockpile the toilet paper. If everyone just buys toilet paper normally, now I know some people can't get out and go to buy it, and that they might need to get extra, or if you have an elderly neighbor, you might offer to pick up something extra for them. And if people would just do that, there would be absolutely no shortage in toilet paper. And that is one thing I've been reading about. Yeah, the United States manufactures most of the toilet paper. They do get some from Mexico and Canada, and they're just right, they're right there. So let's leave some toilet paper for some other people. That was kind of strange that was the thing everybody jumped for, was toilet paper and water. Your water supply is not going to be cut off, and it's not going to be infected. So we need to, settle down. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having, extra water, but you probably don't need to get 24 cases of it. Because that is another thing, that it's kind of like we're preparing for, around here we prepare for hurricanes by getting things like that. So I guess that's the way, we're kind of geared. That's the kind of things we need to have extra of. But we're gonna be fine. We're gonna do okay. Around here we got lots of trees. I guess I could always use the leaves. Just make sure you pick the right leaves and don't get any poison ivy. I've been there. Yeah, that happened to my husband. I mentioned that the other day when he was in college. Yeah, he went out and yeah, he thoroughly wiped himself with poison ivy. He wasn't very pleasant to be around. Of course, I couldn't blame him. That would not be very nice. That was bad. Really was bad. But it was kind of funny too. I'm sorry. Okay, I've got. See, I love to use these papers to put my hand on. Like if I'm working in a certain area, I can lay my hand down and not be stuck to this. I pull my paper. I mean, all of this is pulled off. So I don't have any cats, but I do have dogs. My dogs don't shed. Well, one does, but he's not allowed to come in here because I don't want him getting his hair on my yarn and on my diamond paintings and other things, unless he's been brushed real well. But even if he does come in here, he's not going to get on the table. And I know those of you with cats have a problem with that because those kitties can get wherever they want to. You can't stop that. Which is, yeah, that would be a problem. So, you could always use more papers and cover it up. I just don't need to. Of course, before I came on here, I forgot and I stuck my tray up there, and yeah, it stuck real good to the to the canvas because I wasn't using the old bean this morning too well, I guess. Let's see. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in focus so you can see what I'm doing. Now, Dreamer Designs uses squares. Don't be afraid of the squares. I know some people have tried them and they got discouraged because, yes, squares are smaller than the rounds. It just takes some practice. And if you've been watching me, you notice I use the checkerboard method. And then I just go back in and I fill in the places that I left blank. And you can go real quick there. So just take your time. There's no rush in this. Remember, you're not in a race, honey. You are just enjoying yourself and relaxing. That's all you need to do. And whatever it is that relaxes you, some of you may be knitting right now or crocheting or whatever fun activity that you like to do. We all have lots of different hobbies, and I think that's great. Okay, I tried to move you over a little bit while I work on this part of the boat. I've been working up in that area also when I haven't been on camera, but I try to work in an area where I'm more concentrated so you can see what I'm doing. And these squares have been really nice. I haven't had any trash. I haven't had any tags on these, so I'm very impressed. They're not just, you know, really bright colors like I had when I did one last year. So I'm very pleased with his Dreamer Designs right now. Very pleased. And this is a huge canvas. Now, I've told you before, I always keep an empty pen. I keep one empty to straighten them if I just feel like they just need to be perfectly straight sometimes. And they're not going to be. We are not, no, we're not machines to put them down just perfectly straight. And I've got my light pad on, so you're going to see them a lot better than when it's turned off. So, yeah, you'll see more crookedness. But you know what? You're going to have crookedness when you're doing rounds, too. Because those rounds are not all the same size, if you've ever noticed. And some of them even aren't quite the same shape. I've pulled one out, I've pulled some out that were oval. And I try not to use those. But when you are finished with the whole canvas, and I'll show you that when it's done, you are not going to see if they're crooked or straight. I mean, yeah, if I sit here and just, turn them this way and that, yeah, it is going to look pretty bad. But nobody is probably going to be that crazy with it. Just don't second guess yourself. And start with a small one. Start with a small square. And you can find small squares on AliExpress. I have seen them even on Amazon. I love Row Diamonds. They have all different kinds. I did a square clock, and it's gorgeous. And I might go run and grab that in just a minute, just so you can see it. It came out so pretty, and it was all done in squares. And it's not nearly the size of this. It is bigger than what you might want to start with. But just remember, take your time. Notice how I'm going to go in here, and I just put one down, and that color's right there. I'm going to skip and go to that one, and then I'm just going to stick that one right there. And once you get a line put down, you get several put down, it becomes a lot easier too. So, I've had some people ask about the square. That's the reason I thought I would talk about it a little bit, about the square drills, and they're really having a difficult time. If you don't want to do squares, don't do squares. It stresses some people out. Some people only want to do squares. I like doing both. I am happy with both kinds. And these are beautiful. Oh, look at the shine. Can you see that? Oh, so pretty. Really nice. Anyway, I was, okay, let me see what I'm doing. I was working on the clock. I wanted to get that finished. And now I can spend more time working on this. And hopefully you'll get to be seeing more progress when I come on here. And how are you progressing on what you're working on? How many of you are still having to go to work? And those of you who are healthcare professionals, hats off to you. Thank you so much for going out there. You are on the front lines. Like you're risking your health going out there and helping those who are sick. Thank you so much. And of course, we don't thank you enough, because this is not just for this. I mean, you face sick people on a daily basis. And yes, thank you so much. And those of you who have chronic diseases, bless your hearts. I know it's hard. Make sure you're staying in. Well, a lot of you can't get out very well anyway. And find you a nice hobby to do. Read a good book. You can listen to me. I will be more than happy to come on here and just chat about any and everything. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go grab that clock, and I'll be right back. I want to show it to you. Okay, here's my clock. Isn't it gorgeous? All of this is diamond painted, the whole thing. And there was a spot that shows you where to leave a hole. So it comes with the Clockworks. I just need to mount this on a piece of foam board is what I'm planning on doing. And cutting a hole in it. Of course, I'm going to cut all these white edges off. and mount that, and I will show it to you when it's finished. But isn't it beautiful? I just love it. Look how nice this came out. Really nice. And these are squares. And if I pull you up closer, you can see the squares in there. And the squares were nice. They weren't bad at all. And when you look away, it doesn't matter. You know, if I had some in there that are crooked, you're not going to see that. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And this is one that I did get from Row Diamonds. That is a UK-based company. I've talked about them before. And this is just beautiful. I really do like it. This was a 35 by 35, and there were 35 colors. But I wanted to show it to you because I'm really proud of it. It's the first clock I have done that is done completely in drills. And the numbers are drills. I mean, it's ready to be made into a clock now. I don't have to do anything else but mount it and put the clockworks that came with it in there. So I wanted to show you that. I'm proud of it. I think it came out so pretty. Now, back to where we were. Back to the program. So squares are very lovely. Some people only want to do squares. Some people only want to do rounds. Some people are like me and like doing both. They're both fun to do. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on with me and why I haven't had a chance to even make a video this week. Now, as probably most of you are being affected with the schools, and the schools have closed, shut the doors to try to prevent spread of any infections. Well, you'd think, okay, my daughter's grown. I don't teach anymore. I'm retired. But I have, a lot of you have heard me talk about Isaac. He's my kind of like adopted grandson who is in Marine boot camp, and I got letters from him the other day. I'm like, it blessed my heart. I've been writing to him, and I'm looking forward to getting some more. He said he's doing good. I had asked him how the food is, and he said some of it's pretty good. He said, of course, they make us eat so fast that you don't really get any time to enjoy it. He said we eat and then we go out and do more PT. They do all sorts of things. So he said his favorite thing to do is sleep. Because he said he's tired all the time. He said, of course, they are all tired. And I know they stay busy. He is now been there for 3 whole weeks. Yeah, 3 whole weeks, I think. 3 or 4. It's getting... He left on February 24th. And the thing with the Marines, the graduation, when they're graduating, they have closed the graduation of the Marines to the public to keep any Marine from contracting the coronavirus, which I think is a very smart idea. He doesn't graduate till May 22nd, so I don't know how things will be then. We're going to pray, hope and pray that things are much better, and that he will get to come home. They're not even letting them come home at this point. They're just going to go straight onto their specialized training or whatever it is that they're doing. I have received emails from, I use a thing called Sandbox app. Sandbox is with 2 X's. So that I write a letter to him and he gets it like a lot of times the next day, depending on if I get it sent to him before 5 o'clock Eastern time. And since I'm Central time, sometimes I'll be looking and I forget, that's got to be before 4 o'clock my time. Excuse me. He's in San Diego, and so he's worried, of course, in his letter, he was worried about his sisters and worried about, he's worried about me and my husband and, you know, everybody. He doesn't know what's going on. And I sent him a couple of letters this week. He asked me for more stamps. I sent him 2 packages, 2 books of stamps. So now he has 40 stamps. And I got tickled because he was putting 2 stamps on each of his letters. And I said, Isaac, you only need to put 1 stamp on the letter, honey. Because you're not, you know, it's just a letter. It's not packages. So I overnighted him stamps the other day because I want to keep those letters coming to me. You know, I'm going to be thinking of myself here. Okay, I'm going to do these arrows next, and that's number 47. So let me grab number 47. And I had to put some of mine in these craft lockables, craft mates. I don't remember what they're called. You can put it down below because I don't have the box in front of me because I didn't have to use all of it. But these are nice because these will lock. All the other ones will lock while you pour those out. So this is number 47. I'm going to put that over there and leave it open so I remember which color I'm working with. That's the only thing that is a drawback on these, is that you can't, you know, have that individual one there. But it's okay doing it this way. I can still see. That's 47, and it's the arrow. I'm just going to put it over there so that I don't spill it, because, yeah, I've already done a little spilling this morning. So, let's see. Okay, we got some arrows here. So, anyway, Isaac was doing well. He told me everybody was sick there. He said he had a runny nose, but not to worry about him. He was okay. So, I guess getting used to a new climate. I asked him how the weather was in San Diego, and he said it was really nice. He said it was very pretty there. So, he said that he is, he seems to be doing, you know, great, and he said the only thing that worries him are us back home. And when I wrote him back, I said, do not worry about us. And the neat thing about this sandbox program is I can attach a picture. So I took a picture of his sister Abby, who is 16. I'm going to tell you more about her in a moment. And then he has 3 little ones. 2 of them are 4 and 1 of them is 6. And he asked me if I could send a picture. So Abby and I went over there and I took pictures of them, and I included a picture of mine, and I had Abby write him a letter, and she included a picture of herself and one of my dogs that he loves, my dog Oliver. So she took a picture of herself holding Oliver. So that'll be something fun for him to see. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from him. Anyway, getting back to Abby, since schools are closed, Abby is 16. She is a sophomore in high school. So they are doing their work online. Well, Abby does not have internet. So I brought her over here on both Wednesday and Thursday. That one's kind of a weird shape, so I'm not going to... Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was. No, it wasn't. I just put it back in there. So they're doing their work online. She doesn't have internet access. So I brought her here, like I said, on Wednesday and Thursday, and she was here. I worked with her for hours. they moved here from Honduras. They've been here since, they've been here about 6.5 years, okay? Well, the English that they're doing, the words in there, I can guarantee you some of our native speakers wouldn't be able to do them. So she wasn't understanding it. So I have gotten to where I'm reading passages aloud to her and explaining to her what the words mean. And then we look at the questions and she's able to answer it. So I have been using my voice a lot. So by the time I would take her back home, I'd go pick her up and then bring her and then take her back home. We'd have lunch together here, and yesterday we started a little after 9, and I took her home around, it's almost 3. And most of that time was spent doing work, because she's got, of course, the English, then she's got math, she's got history, she has typing, and she's taking a Spanish class. She's in, of course, Spanish 3, and they have to write things in Spanish. And it's a good thing for her to keep up with that, because she has to spell things correctly and use the correct punctuation and all that kind of thing, which will be good, because she told me she would like to be a teacher. And I thought it would be awesome to be able to help kids who come over here from South America or Spain or other Spanish-speaking countries. And so she's been a joy. I've enjoyed being with her. I have been exhausted because I'm not used to having a young one in the house again. You know, 16 is young. My daughter's grown and married. She lives 270 miles away from me, so I don't get to see her much. So I've enjoyed the interaction. Sometimes we, after she's been working for several hours, we take a break and we just talk. And she's been through a lot. She really has. I've told you Isaac's story. Well, she's lived that story also. So she is just, I just tell her how proud I am of her. She has gotten stronger instead of being mad about things. She has a great relationship with God. I'll put it that way. You don't see that very much in a young girl like that, but she really does. And she says she tries to listen to do the right thing, in her words. So I'm really proud of her. I know it's tough. Being a teenager is just tough. But she's handling it well. Those of you who know, her mother passed away. May 5th will be 2 years ago. She is living actually with her pastor and his family now, because that was the mother's wish, because she didn't want her being at home with stepdad. She said that's not right, because Abby was 15 at the time. It was not right. Well, actually, she hadn't turned 15. She was actually 14, about to turn 15 when her mom passed away. She said it was not right for a young girl to be with an unmarried man that's not her father. And so the pastor took her in, and she told me, in Abby's words, she said at first she hated it because she hadn't had to live with rules like she does now. And so she has new rules to go by, and she sees that that was the best thing for her. She's really getting things together, and I'm just proud of her. She's working hard. It's not easy. Yeah. If y'all remember being a teenager, it's not a real easy time. And if you have teenagers in your own, you know that too. Oh my gosh. my years with my daughter when she was a teenager. Lord have mercy. I don't want to go back through that. That was tough. Wow. That's a whole nother story. Something I don't even want to remember. But, you know, we were all teenagers and we were all hard-headed. Well, most of us. I was terrified of my dad. I was afraid to do anything wrong. I was afraid he'd beat me to death. So, I didn't do anything. I didn't go anywhere. I wasn't allowed to. My dad did not allow my sister and I to go anywhere. Well, he kept my brothers from going anywhere too, but unbeknownst to me and my sister, my brothers were sneaking out at night. We had a 2-story house, and my brothers were at the other end of the hall. My parents were downstairs. Their room was downstairs. And my brothers were going out the window. I didn't know about that until I was an adult. They didn't tell us about it. I guess they thought we were going to go say something. Even today, you know, that my dad was a very strong presence. I'll put it that way. So, yeah, I'm not sure what all they got up to. My brother Greg tells me some stories. And as most of you know, I lost my brother Daryl on Christmas Eve, but I spent a lot of time visiting with him before he passed away. He had cancer, and I got to spend a lot of quality time with him. I'm so thankful I had that time to spend with him. We got to be really close. So I still miss being able to go over and talk to him. He lived about an hour away. And that was nothing. I just jumped in the car, and I'd spend the whole day. Sometimes I'd spend, 2 or 3 days. He'd want me to stay. He liked for me to come and visit, because I stayed with him the whole time. He was pretty much bedridden. He couldn't get up and get around at the end. And boy, did he. That was hard on him. My brother was a marathon runner at one time, and he was a Marine. So, yeah, that was so hard on him to be stuck in the bed. Let me see. Do I see any more of those arrows? Let me look at the picture again. Okay. Arrows to the right. To the right. Okay, there's some up there. Let me see. Turn you, make sure you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I think so. And I'm keeping this kind of covered. Once I get some drills laid down like this, I can set this on top without worrying about it. The only problem is if my arm gets into there, then I just put that piece of paper down. So you learn all kinds of things. The more you diamond paint, you start coming up with your own ideas. You think, okay, how could this be made easier? And once you have, some of these down, it just makes it easier to get them on there straight. You get that, you get a good foundation row down, and it's going to go a lot easier. Okay, more arrows. I see some up here. Yeah, isn't that pretty? Look at the water and the rocks. This is making me happy. Okay, there are those arrows again. Don't want to miss out on those. And my dogs have been a lot of company for me. And how many of you have dogs or cats or birds or fish or whatever it is? You might have hamsters or gerbils, or do you have anything kind of exotic or wild? They are such a comfort when I'm feeling kind of low sometimes. And, we all get to that point where we're kind of down. And sometimes I, have myself a little pity party. I try not to do that, but it happens sometimes. Thinking about my brother. Okay, wishing he was here. Well, that isn't going to happen, so I need to just keep moving on like he would want me to do. And then we start feeling sorry for ourselves. Oh, I can't get out. I can't go do that. I can't go do this. But, come turn me on, I'm going to try to, you know, stay upbeat as much as we can. That's why I love you guys, and I love your comments. I'm going to tell you something. Your comments, the nice ones, we'll put it that way, make my day. I will have tears in my eyes thinking, y'all are just fantastic. You're wonderful. And I love to hear from you. So please, keep those comments coming. I sometimes don't get back to you right away. A lot of times I'll wait until I get quite a few comments so that I try not to miss anyone. And I do my very best. And if I ever miss you, I am so sorry. You can just email me. I put my email address underneath all my videos. Say, hey, you didn't answer back, you know, to me. If you had, especially if you had a question. And I have people who sometimes email me with a question, and that's fine. I will do my very best to answer it. Or if you have suggestions of a video you want me to do, you say, hey, would you hurry up with that video on doing the ceiling? The reason that takes a while is that one will take me a couple of days to do, because I have to show you, you know, how I go about sealing it. Then I have to go through the drying process and then show you the finished product. So that's one reason. That takes a little bit more time. And like I said, I had Abby here and we were busy. That, tell you what, that English was something else. I taught English, and, you know, had English in college. I mean, I had a lot of English, I had a lot of Spanish, I've had a lot of everything. But some of the stories that they make you read in high school, the short passages are boring. They are just boring. And as a teacher, I know that. And sometimes you have to do those kinds of passages. But just like, can we get something a little more exciting? Now, we did do the short story, The Lottery. Now, I remembered the story. I couldn't remember every part of it. It's been a while since I've read it. But there were a lot of things. She didn't know what a lottery was. So I explained that. And that was a fun one to do. They were doing dystopian fiction, which a lot of young adults enjoy reading. They usually have kind of a sad ending. The Lottery definitely had a very sad ending. How many of you remember The Lottery? Remember reading that in high school. It's probably been a while for most of you. It brought it all back when I was reading it. And it doesn't say at what time it was set, but every year this town held a lottery. It's the same day every year. And what happened is all the townspeople got together, and the children, before the lottery started, they gathered stones and they'd stack them up and, you know, have different piles. They'd try to find smooth ones, big ones, little ones, all different sizes. And they were playing around, and there were flowers. It was, you know, just a beautiful day in the story. And then the people got together, and it was time to start the lottery. And they had this black box. And they had lost a lot of the traditions that they would sometimes do in this lottery, as sometimes happens when time goes on. Let me find my next color I want to do before I continue with that story. Okay, let's do these. It looks like little circles. Oh, no. You know what dummy me just did? I poured two different, I put these colors in with this. Oh, nice, Grace. I'll deal with that later. I don't want to do that while I'm on talking to you. Yeah, I shouldn't have had left that one out, should I? That's what happens if I leave one out. I'll just pick it up and put it in there. I'll figure it out later. I need to remember that was number 47, though, so I better leave that open over there. Yeah, yes, I do make those mistakes. Look at that. I'm going to not move it around much, and maybe when I, try to scoop that out, I'll get most of the right color picked up. Anyway, let's do those little zeros there, or little O's, whatever you want to call them. Okay, that looks like that's number 24. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing on this canvas. I'm looking at these O's here. And let me pull you in close. Oh, that wasn't close. Yes. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. These O's. Oh, let me find my finger. Oh, where's my finger? I'm sorry. I'm going to try to bring you down here. Okay, these O's right here. Boy, I'm making a mess. I hope I'm not making you sick. Okay, they're this color. Kind of a beigey looking color. But when I look over here, I'm looking for the O. And there's only one that is a circle like that. And it is number 24. And I'm going to show you when I pick up this here. It's this color on here, and that's the color of the drills. And I know that they did that so it would be easier to see the canvas, to see the colors. So that took a little getting used to, that was going to be a different color. So I'll tell you that ahead of time. But once I figured that out, it was like, oh, that's simple. It just makes it easier for you to find it when you're doing it. And since they're squares, the color isn't going to show up on the back. That color isn't going to show through, so it doesn't matter. And it makes it easy for me to find it. I can see those O's very easily on here. Okay, hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Oh, wait. Okay, you know what? Those are diamonds. I'm blind. The O's on the canvas are actually the same color, but some of them are different. I had to put my reading glasses on to look a little closer, and those are diamonds. They're not circles. Okay, Grace. I still haven't got my new glasses either. All right, let me get back to the lottery, because you've probably forgotten what I was even talking about now, because I've gone on about something else. That's me. Get my brain off on something else. Okay, so we've got the kids playing around in the flowers. They're, stacking rocks and doing their thing. And it's time for the town to get together. And they get out the black box. And inside the black box are the names of the people in the town. It'll have the family name. For example, like if your last name was Harris, it would just have Harris on there, and that would include you and your husband if you're married, and your kids under 16. Now, if you were once you turn 16, you are entered in there separately. So once you're 16, I guess I consider you an adult. I don't know. And I find that in a lot of the dystopian books, 16 is a very popular age for things to happen. So anyway, the wives, if they were widowed, they would have their last name put in there. It would be their husband's last name. If they were not married at all, they would just have their own last name. So what they would do, and this was a small town, there were, I think they said about 300 people in the town. So everyone was, there, and they said the lottery only took a couple of hours. It started at 10, and they'd be finished by noon, and time to go home and have lunch. Spend time with the family. So it was a big deal in the town. So they all got together, and it was time for the drawing. So they would call a person's name. And for say, family of Wyatt. So they would just say the name Wyatt. And the man, last name was Wyatt, he would go draw a piece of paper with their family name on it. And they would go stand back and wait. And it went that way. They'd call each name. If it was a 16 years and older, they would call their name. So, I thought, very interesting. It said, like, what are they going to win? So, at the end, they then pick a name, okay? Then that family goes forward. So, that family, let's say the family name, I think the Harrison was the name in the story. That name was picked. And so the father, his wife, and their 3 small children. They had 3 that were under the age of 16, and they all went forward. And they were told to pick a piece of paper. There was some other pieces of paper now put into the black box. They got, everyone had picked names out of there. And Harrison's name was picked, so it was time for each of the family members to go pick a piece of paper out and to see what they would get. So they let the youngest one go first, and she picked out a piece of paper, and it was blank. There's nothing on it. And she held it up and showing everybody, nothing on it. Then the other 2 kids picked their names out, and they drew blanks. There was nothing on their papers. The father drew, and he also had a blank sheet of paper. So then it was time for the mothers to draw her paper. Well, during this time, the mother kept saying, "It's not fair. That the drawing was unfair. Y'all shouldn't have. Y'all cheated. It's not right. Y'all need to redraw." She was going on and on about this, and the husband was saying, you need to be quiet. This is what we do. So the mother goes up, and she already knows what's going to be on her piece of paper. And she goes up there, she draws it, and there is a black circle, a black dot, rather. Dark black dot that the keeper of the box, I guess, I'm not, whoever the person in control was. And yes, he had to draw his name too. She pulled it out, and there was that black dot, and she started getting very anxious. And you're wondering what's going on. And the next thing you know, she is hit in the neck by a stone. And at the end of the story, okay, that's getting towards the end, it talks about them filling the little boy, her son's hand, with little pebbles because he was very young, just maybe 3 or 4 years old. So, yes, you can guess what they were doing. Well, if you can't, it doesn't tell you, it leaves it there. But as I was explaining to Abby, I said, they stoned her to death. I said, so this is showing that sometimes old ways are not always the best. And sometimes we need to change things, that aren't so good. So it was very interesting, and it brought back memories of when I'd first read that story. Gosh, that's been so long ago, I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. Any of you remember reading that story? That is very disturbing. Very disturbing story. Yes, so that's what she got to read. That was very entertaining to do that. Okay, now let's go for those diamonds that we were talking about just a minute ago. And that is number 42. So let me... Here's number 42. And there is the diamond. And the diamond is a little bit lighter colored on here than it is on the symbol on the canvas. The symbols on the canvas, and they also give you stickers. You'll notice I went ahead and started putting I started putting them on as a sticker. Then I thought, I wonder how hard these are going to get off. Yeah, well, they're hard to get off. So I started just taping them on because they stick really well. Now, if you were putting them in baggies, that wouldn't make a whole lot of difference unless you wanted to save your baggies. And sometimes I'll just put the number, and if I'm doing it myself, I just put the number because I can look on the side and find the symbol. But this is really nice, and it also has the DMC code. So if you are down-kitting, unkidding, or whatever you want to call it, and want to save your drills, I've gotten to where I don't save them. I had so many of them, I'm like, I don't want to keep all these. So, and there are places that sell drills. So, anyway, that's just me. Everybody is different. You do it your own way. So, yeah, that was an example. I can't even pick my... Oh. I gotta fix my patty wax in there. I'm using the super sticky. This stuff is amazing. Still gotta do that. Well, I think I already said that. Anyway, that was an example of dystopian fiction. And I thought, yeah. And like I said, most of it ends very sad. And that is very sad. And it usually happens at the end. We read another story. And so, yeah, doing this dystopian fiction has been real entertaining. Maybe. So, yeah, it was having to explain to her what dystopian fiction was. It helped a whole lot to have the stories to read, so she could see that better. So, we had some other stories like that we did. By the time I finished reading, I read 3 hours straight on Wednesday. That was a lot. My voice was getting really strained. But I tell you what, I'm so glad I'm feeling better. Are there any stories that come to mind for you from when you were in school that left an impression? Or did you just forget about all of them? If you're like me, it's been a long time ago. One of my favorites is To Kill a Mockingbird. I remember reading that, and I still love that book. It's a great book, and they did a great job on the movie. It is such a good book. So how's the weather where you are? I told you it's raining here, and we're supposed to be in the 60s this weekend. So that's going to be kind of a nice change for us because we've been in the 80s, and I saw that we might be up in around 90 next week. I'm like, no, I don't want it that quick. I don't want to hit them hot temperatures yet. I certainly don't want to have to start turning an air conditioner on. So far, I've been fine with fans. It hadn't been bad. So, I don't know. Don't know what the weather is going to do. Just have to wait and see. I'm just looking forward to the rain is going to wash some of that pollen away. Yeah, that's covering all the cars, and everything around here, yeah. It looks like we've had a yellow dust storm. When I go out and look outside, which I don't do too often because I don't need to be exposed to all the pollen. So that's a thing that bothers me, is being exposed to too much pollen. It can really act up with my allergies, which in turn acts up with asthma. And, yeah, it's just a vicious cycle. But I've got some meds that are helping now, so I'm happy about that. And I'm happy to have you guys. And y'all are a blessing to me, and you just never know how much of a blessing you really are to a lot of us that are YouTubers, and we sit and talk to you. It's nice to have someone, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you'd like to, you make me so happy. I'd love to have more people join me. Let me know if there's anything special you want me to talk about myself or anything else, and I can try to do that. Like I said, I have some more videos lined up that I want to do. Just need to get the time to get some of that done. Abby and I have decided that we're going to probably do Mondays and Wednesdays for her to come over to do schoolwork. So that's one reason I have not been able to do a live in forever. It seems like there's one thing or another. I had Abby here and we were busy doing schoolwork. So maybe, like I said, if I do a live, I may just come on and it'll just be there. So if you like to do lives, consider subscribing and clicking on the bell for all notifications, because when you click on the bell, a drop down thing will come down, and click the top one that says all notifications. Otherwise you won't get all of them. And that way, if I'm going live or if I have a new video posted, you're gonna know. And I have I can talk and talk and talk. If there's anything special you'd like me to talk about, or any special topic of interest to you that you'd like me to look up and talk about, that is happy. Let's keep the bad news off of here if we can. I mean, you know, everything's not just hunky-dory, as we know, but we need a time to escape from some of that, and that's what we're gonna do. Let me see. Okay, there's some more diamonds right there. Yeah, putting diamond painting on diamonds right now. And yeah, one thing I'll get to do when I get off of here is sort through those lovely colors over there. Yeah, too bad they weren't like brown and orange instead of two shades of kind of an orange color. Good job, Grace. Good job. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how long you've been diamond painting, you're still going to make mistakes. That was a stupid one. But hey. And as you can see, you can probably see in the viewfinder, these may not be as straight as they need to be, but they're going to straighten up when I get more and more of them placed down. So I'm not going to worry about it. There's no need in worrying about those. And if you've noticed, when I am doing a painting that has a lot of confetti, I pick one color and I'll do, you know, as many of those as I see. And then I'll get another color and do those. It just makes it a whole lot easier. Confetti is no big deal, but it will make your picture pretty. Make it real pretty. And I'm doing my checkerboard here, just like that. I love that popping sound I get with this sticky patty wax. I can get it with the other too. And I still use the other because I love the smell of it. It's really good in multi-placers, but those of you who know me, I love single placing for some reason. Call me weird, but I do. I enjoy, for some reason, And I know there's others of you out there that are like me. I enjoy just seeing it being filled up, and I can just relax and take my time. And sometimes if I use a multi-placer, I get them all crooked anyway, and then I have to, it bugs me if they're not. Oh, there's still one on there. Yeah, this stuff is really sticky, and sometimes it'll hold on to that drill. So I just pull it out of there and put another one down. So just enjoy yourself. Just relax. Kind of find positive things to listen to and to do. Don't just sit and just watch bad stuff all the time, because it'll make you feel bad. And there are I know there are several other people that are doing videos to try to uplift people, you know. Anyway, I'm going to go for now. My battery's about to go dead because I've talked for so long. And I just want to say I love you guys. You take care of yourselves. And remember to share your love and your smiles. Bye.